Good morning, back on the bench. I've decided today, and generally, I need to dream bigger because the world is going to benefit from it. And that is the theme of today's video. Every morning, I try to write down my goals for 1 year ahead of the date. And I find it just kind of helps me calibrate where I'm going and knowing what I'm doing. And it's really cool today and yesterday. Today I challenged myself. I said, dream bigger, it'll help the world. And I removed some limits that I didn't even know I was placing on myself of what I could do in a year. So very interested. But I figured for this video, something I've been thinking a lot about is where Sunset Crew is going. And for me, I kind of see it pretty clearly. Like, what does Sunset Crew look like in 20 years? And I wanted to attempt to take anyone watching this, it could be my future self, on the journey and give my perspective of the way I see Sunset Crew going. So I was deciding whether I should start like Sunset Crew in 20 years, but I actually think I'll start like, where are we now? Where do I see that evolving? So the evolution of Sunset Crew has been super interesting. 3 years and 1 month ago, we sat on the beach and said, this is going to be a place for people to have meaningful conversations. And at its core, that's remained quite consistent. For 157 weeks or something like that, every Wednesday, we missed the fourth Wednesday, but since then it's been almost 160 weeks, I believe. We sat on the beach and ran, I've never done it alone though. So there's always been someone. So I've sat on the beach and run a session called We're All Humans. That is our slogan as well. We're All Humans is about choosing a topic and embracing the fact that we're all humans. So every week we choose a different topic. Tomorrow's topic is about how our mind works. And we're going to be covering specific topics around like memory, organization, navigating emotions, planning, and connections with humans. So kind of creating pillars. So every week, that's kind of our cornerstone of Sunset Crew. And then almost 12 months ago, in like September, we started an event called Chill and Connect. Now this is a Sunday event, and when it first started, it used to be playing card games, connecting, and then we would do a meditation at the end. Now that was on a Sunday. That's now grown and become our most popular event. So that's got like 30 to 50 people every week, which is so cool. We don't do the meditation element anymore, I think just because of the size, but it's just become a place where you can come and play Uno, play card games. We have a couple years ago for a Christmas party, I made conversation starters, like a card set, and I handed them out. And so since then I've got a second version of that, and I'm developing a game called We're All Humans. Funnily enough, our slogan, the name of the event, and that's my reminder for the world, is that we are all humans. And the way the game works is there's a set of questions, and there's a dice, and you roll the dice, and there's 6 ways to answer the questions. It could be, if you roll a 1, you ask a stranger. 2 is like 1-word answer. 3, how does the question make you feel? 4, the connector, that's the person that rolled the dice, chooses a question. 5, the connector creates a question. 6, flip and reveal. Everyone gets a question face down, and we go around the circle and we flip it and reveal it. So there's different ways to answer the questions. Now, that's kind of the core of Sunset Crew. That's what we've got happening now. But what I see, and then in January, it was earlier than January, but pretty much January, we started a WhatsApp community, and we had the Sunset Crew as the main chat. And after a Wednesday session one day, people started talking about, we should start a band. And I said, you guys should. Why don't you go and start a crew on the WhatsApp. And so they made the music crew. And then at the time, me and a dude named Jose were surfing every Thursday. And we were like, oh, if anyone wants to come along, we'll start the surf crew. And so those were the first 2 crews to start. And then for a couple of weeks, people would keep telling me ideas, and I'd be like, go and start a crew. And so the way this all kind of unfolded was in December, I canceled our Meetup account because I think they charge community leaders too much. They charge about $50 a week. A month. $50 a month. And I tried to cancel in October. My email was ignored, and then they renewed in December. So I was pretty upset. And then Instagram is good for growing community, but it takes so much work. And so what I started to do is I started to think about, I want to own the audience. I want to be able to reach them directly. And so I started putting everyone in a WhatsApp group, in a WhatsApp community. And I messaged so many people on Instagram, Facebook. That was our main call to action: join the WhatsApp. If you were at an event, join the WhatsApp. And we had a couple hundred people in there. February, we had 300. April, we have 1,300. And now that has kind of become the heart of Sunset Crew, where there is 50 crews for different interests. There is 1,342 people. I just removed a heap of spammers. And yesterday, for example, people caught up for wakeboarding. People caught up for beach volleyball. People caught up for hiking. And that's all as a result of the cruise. So it's just allowed so many more touch points for Sunset Crew. And there's something happening almost every day. Today's Tuesday, there's trivia. And my vision has always, I had this vision. And the thing about entrepreneurship is not everything works the first time. So I tried to do this last year, and I got really excited, and I had the vision, and I created the 20 group chats, and I created beautiful icons, and I launched it as a membership, like $5 a week, and I kind of didn't launch it very well, but that's besides the point. But a couple of people joined, and then I made it free, and maybe 100 people joined, and it felt like an empty club because of how many spaces there were. And so in the third time around, when I made the third version of the WhatsApp, because I still saw the concept being there was still potential. When I made the third version, I was like, all right, we're just gonna start with one group, and then it's gonna naturally evolve. And I'm not gonna be the one to lead all the groups. It's got to be something someone else does so that I can focus on building the entire community. And that's how it's happened, and it's working really well. And so I've always seen, and I've never been able to explain this, and it's never made complete sense. I've always seen Sunset Crew, the ultimate vision, Sunset Crew is the YouTube for social connection. Now, when I say that, I want to empower people to create their own communities. I want to pay them a revenue share. And what's starting to become very clear is that is my vision still. The entire journey is going to be so much more fun, creating opportunities for people and bringing people along on the journey. But the way I see us going, right now, WhatsApp, there's a couple key issues. You can only have 1,200 people, you can only have 2,000 people in a community. You can only have 100 groups. We're really not using WhatsApp the way it's meant to be used, but that's okay. It's working all right. There's a lot of spam. You can't make the entire community request to join. Those are some of the key issues. And then there's privacy, everyone's phone number's on display. And so we're using it. It's our MVP right now, very lean. And I'm looking at a platform called Buddy Boss right now, which is essentially allows me to white label a social network and pay a couple $100 a month. So we have $210 monthly recurring revenue. We have 26 people. I believe, as of yesterday, that have signed up to Crew, which is very exciting. And what my goal is to get this Buddy Boss platform, white label, build the Sunset Crew app. It looks quite simple. It's kind of like a drag and drop, no code builder. But my ultimate vision is an app for Sunset Crew. And I've had this vision of a social network that's backed by a database of meaningful questions and conversation starters, the same way Sunset Crew is. And that way it creates a culture of conversation and connection. And rather than posting on Instagram without an intent, you have to choose a question to answer to post. And rather than swiping through like Tinder or any other app like that, I imagine the Sunset Crew app, find humans, find crews, find what's happening, and play our connection game. And so I'll break down those 4 elements. So the find humans, I think there's so many humans online, and what is the difference right now that I want to create is I want it to be intention based. So I want it to be a search bar of humans, and it's like finding humans based on intention. And each person has a title. I'm looking to meet humans who want to do this with me. And each person shares their intention, and it filters by intention. So then I imagine a swiping feature where you're swiping by intention, not by looks, not by a caption, but by an intention. And then you have this database of questions that you have to respond to. And so that's the Find Humans feature, where it expires in a week. You have to go and meet up with them at an event in a week. And so that's the Find Humans feature. A lot of people don't want the group chats. They want one-to-one connection, and they want to be able to find a walking buddy or a tea buddy or a fishing buddy, and they want to be able to do it that way. So that's that feature. The cruise. This is where I see the money coming in. I received advice that Sunset Crew is great, the trajectory of where it's going is great, but if my goal is for it to be in every city in the world, it needs to be simple and scalable. And so I want to pay people 50% of membership revenue based on how many people they have in their crew. And I want it to be the crew events are the Sunset Crew events, where every month, rather than it being like a leader payment or like a creator payout, I want it to be called a crew budget. It's similar to how Sunset Crew works. We're kind of repeating the process, but for other communities within the Sunset Crew ecosystem. So I want people to have a crew budget, and each month they have a crew budget. I have a meeting with them, and we discuss how they want to spend their crew budget. Now, to be eligible for a crew budget, there will be some things just as there is on YouTube. Like, you have to have 100 people, you have to be active in your crew, you have to have done an in-person catch-up. And so each month I'm having a meeting with the people about their crew budget, a one-to-one, and they can pay themselves if they think that's the best allocation of their budget. Whether they want to buy a volleyball net, whether it's the art crew and they want to buy painting supplies and run an event for people. I'm looking for leaders to partner with and collaborate with and to pay based on, I want people that are going to pour into the community and pour into themselves, just as I've done. And so Sunset Crew eventually probably will run our staple events, but we won't run the extra stuff. My goal is for it all to be crew-led and kind of decentralized to me, I guess. That's the way I see that. People kind of take care of and lead their own crews, and we support them with discovery, we support them with like courses and education around like conflict resolution, mental health conversations. Everything I've learned so much from building Sunset Crew, and we're going to keep doing research and supporting people, and creating a community for our crew leaders is really important too. So I envision like a crew leader bonfire and a crew leader catch up and crew leader events, because I believe if I can pour into the crew leaders, they'll be able to pour into the community and the people that are a part of it. So that's the cruise feature. The third feature and the third key issue that I see, and I've had ideas for an events directory, a community directory for a long time, but I kind of want to flip it on its head, because I kind of had this realization. I was involved in a startup and a concept where we were going to go and build a community directory and a event directory, but I can't pour into other communities right now because I'm pouring so much into my own. And so this third feature, Cruise Going, or What's Happening, still tied on the names, is I want to have it where people can list an event that they're going to, and Sunset Crew, the platform, doesn't sell tickets. We just make it super easy to find your group at the event. So you can always go to an event with a crew, because one of the biggest issues people face, in my opinion, about going to events is they face the issue of, I don't know anyone that's going. And so we want to make it simple. So the Cruise Going feature, you can search events, and there's a yes I'm going feature where you can opt in, and then people can comment on like questions, and you can create a crew. So that, rather than the comment, it's like people create event specific crews and discuss the logistics of meeting up. And I love Red Bull as a company, and I kind of see Sunset Crew taking on a bit of Red Bull's approach, where the crew leaders or people meeting at events, we give them flags, we give them merch very cheaply, we give them a card deck like the We're All Humans game, and we make it super easy to find someone that's a part of Sunset Crew, because I see Sunset Crew being this accessible but exclusive club. We are accessible at $2 or $5 a week, but we are exclusive to those that are committed energetically. So I want to make it really easy to find the people that are part of Sunset Crew so that you can find your crew. And so the Cruise Going feature, making it easy for people to find people going to events and mentioning the event so that people know what's happening and they can opt in and say, I'm going to that, I'll see you there. Going back to the cruise, taking a step back, I'm trying to make this make sense, but it doesn't really have to. I've got every single day to continue to share this vision. The cruise, I see like people lead their own cruise. They have a crew budget. They are doing things for their community. Could be the surf crew, and the surf crew's budget could be investing in a surf coach, or the volleyball crew's budget could be investing in a volleyball coach, or us doing a volleyball lesson once a month. And so empowering the crew leaders and empowering the community to run the community, because I've always loved the concept of for the community, by the community. And I see like you can look in any city in the world and find your crew, and there's interest-based groups being run all around the world. So then the Cruise Going feature, that is simple, finding events, finding people to go with, and finding people. The other feature that's kind of like a dream feature, but the concept of this is to dream bigger because it'll help the world, is kind of like Snapchat Bitmoji, but for Sunset Crew. I want you to be able to place we have a yellow flag that's kind of become like so iconic within the community. I want everyone to have a character on the map, and I want them to be able to place the flag and it be an animation, and then an alert go out to people within a 5K radius. Like someone from Sunset Crew is looking to hang out, who wants to go and do something. And so kind of using technology and using social media to create social connection and to create human connection. Obviously we're going to need a lot of users for that. So, but it's so interesting. Like I went to a party on Friday night, and 3 people were like, oh, you're from Sunset Crew. So it's really interesting seeing how having a community with so many people in such a concentrated area like the Gold Coast, and what that's going to look like in the future is the Gold Coast will always be Sunset Crew's home. I love the idea of having a big headquarters in Burleigh that everyone knows, and people are talking about Fisher right now. He grew up in Southport. People love that he's homegrown and coming back to the Gold Coast. Cool to Be Conscious is another beautiful community that started in Burleigh. I envision Sunset Crew being another Gold Coast success story because this place is so magical. And so the fourth feature that there's been a shift for me lately is the Sunset Crew game, the Sunset Crew card game. I've been talking to manufacturers in China about developing the card game. And as I start to think about this app and Sunset Crew transitioning from more of just events to an actual platform, I think it makes more sense to build the virtual version of the game because there's no limits on questions in a box. It's easier to get the game to people all around the world. And so here's what I'm picturing. The We're All Humans game, you go onto your phone and there's different modes to play. I'm kind of imagining Kahoot for Sunset Crew sessions. So that might be very specific to my age. I'm 19, but I just grew up playing Kahoots and loved them. But I want us to have a database of questions at the start and then eventually human moments. And a human moment is an activity we've run at a Sunset Crew session to help people connect. So for example, that could be in a group, taking 3 connected breaths and then sharing a word that you're feeling. That could be a human moment, or 2 minutes of eye gazing. It's just activities, or sharing in an accent what country you want to explore. We've got hundreds and hundreds of human moments. And I want to have the same way it's so easy to build a Kahoot. I want to be able to make it where you can just drag and drop Sunset Crew sessions and create your own session and have your own playlist of sessions to explore any topic. And whether you're on a date, whether you're journaling, whether you're in a group at a party with 20 people, I want it to become a norm to play your Sunset Crew session with a group to connect with them. But anyway, the way I see the game is at its core, kind of the classic edition, is imagine a QR, a connection corner set up in London, one of the biggest cities in the world. And I kind of want it to be you play with strangers. So it's come and play this game with us. Everyone scans in with a QR code. They write their name. There's a waiting room. And everyone has to answer the question, what type of human are you? And so everyone's typing and you have 2 minutes or you have a couple minutes and there's prompts. Another question we ask at Sunset Crew often is, what's your mental health score? And yeah, so what type of human are you? Everyone writes that down. And then I imagine a AI or something taking keywords from every person's answer and going through our database of questions and getting questions based on the keywords and creating a custom set for every person. And then taking those questions, and that's the set of cards that they play with. And so then people move into the round, and depending on how many people there are, something we do at Sunset Crew every week is we split people up into pairs, 4s, or 6s, or split the session in half. The leader of the session can decide how that works, and I want it to then split you off into pairs. And it gives you a number, it gives you a color, it gives you something that you have to go match with a stranger, someone that's in the group playing the game. Because I find friends stick together. So something I do at Sunset Crew is I break people up. And I find it can be intimidating if you go to an event with 50 people to try and meet 50 people. Whereas if you break it down into 2s and then 4s and then 6s, then you give people the opportunity to move around. They've got social momentum. Social momentum is a very real thing, in my opinion, and how I play in Sunset Crew. So the app breaks people up, and then it gives them the question, and it just kind of is like a Sunset Crew session in a box. And the idea of this becoming a ritual at an event, so that when people do their crew catch-ups at the events and they're breaking the ice, you could just play the game for 5 minutes and help everyone get to know one another. Or I have these visions at festivals, like a connection corner, being able to go to a tent at Splendor in the Grass or Coachella, and it's a bright yellow tent with the Sunset Crew flag, and being able to play the game, and every 30 minutes we're playing a new game, and it just helps people either connect, take a break from a festival, meet new people, or it can be a meeting spot like, hey, I'm gonna meet you at the Sunset Crew tent, and that's where I'm gonna find my crew. I just imagine this game being the backbone of Sunset Crew, and it being how Sunset Crew maintains its magic as it goes to different cities. Because the easier I can make it to play, the more people are going to want to play it. And that's what I envision. So kind of making the dice roll automatic and having different features to play the game, having out of the box Sunset Crew sessions. I personally have probably a couple hundred Sunset Crew sessions I could upload, and also having a physical card product. But I might put that on the back burner. The vision that I have is there's always a list going of the top 52 questions, and people can upvote and they can select their favorite questions. So there may be thousands of questions, but then there's the top 52. And every year, maybe on like a Sunset Crew day, April 5th is our birthday, maybe April 5th, we choose the top 52, and that's the yearly edition of the We're All Humans game. So that was the vision for an in-person card game. I still believe in that because the idea of getting off our phones sounds good too, but it's much more scalable and seems like a better place to invest my energy right now. That was a lot. I can't believe it. I don't know if I've ever had all the details in a 30-minute video. But I see Sunset Crew being everything you need to find your crew in your city. So the idea of paying $5 a week and you get access to 100 different crews and different leaders running events that is just included, that's what excites me. And people being able to make enough money where the event doesn't need to be ticketed, that's what excites me. And being able to build a team and build a company in Burleigh that helps the world, that's what excites me, because so much of social media isn't actually about connection, it's about stealing your attention. I want Sunset Crew to be the opposite of that. Sunset Crew will be the opposite of that. And right now we're building the roadmap for the Gold Coast. We are finding our systems, finding out what people are going to pay for, finding out what's going to scale, finding out what is the core of Sunset Crew. And as we discover that, we will go to other cities, and then it's just a matter of time, 10, 20, 30, 40 years before Sunset Crew is in every city in the world. And the vision that I have, what excites me so much, is someone being in a city and knowing they don't have to be alone. Because loneliness is one of the worst things a human can go through, and community and true, meaningful, trusting friendships is one of the best things I've experienced in my life. And I think if we can create more community in the world will be a better place, because I truly believe in my core that is humans and the way I've been brought up and the community I've been around and the community I'm in now. That is why I'm such a powerful human. And if more humans communicated and found community and found their crew, there'd be less mental health issues. There'd be so much higher self-esteem. People would be more confident. People would enjoy life. There's going to be more creativity. And I am so grateful and so passionate that my purpose is to connect humans, and that I get to be in this world for my life. That excites me so much. All I have to do is stay healthy, keep going, and I will be a part of it. And it's going to be really cool to look at this video and to look at these videos of me documenting the journey. And it's interesting, there's a little voice in my head like, oh, I've just revealed all my ideas. What if someone goes and creates it? If you want to go and create this, let me know. I will do it with you. Let's do it together. But my reality is, the vision is simple, not easy. I spent 8 hours doing data entry on a Google Sheet, and it takes so much to lead a community. And if I can be the leader that makes the process super easy for people, then I'm doing a great job. And yeah, that's why I need to dream bigger, because it's going to help the world. That was one of my favorite videos so far. A long one, but pretty concise compared to what it has been, or compared to what some of my best friends have heard. That's the vision right now. I want to be a thought leader and an expert in community connection, bringing humans together and connecting humans. So watch the journey, come along with me, and I'll see you at a Sunset Crew session wherever you are.